Okay, I think I'm ready to go. Sorry about that. How's everybody doing today? Good? Good. Hey, thanks for the crowd in the corner. Appreciate that. All right, so my name is Ryan Yackel. I'm one of the directors of product over here at QA Symphony, but now we are Tricentis Q-Test, part of this whole big happy family over here. And my talk today is on Agile test management. However, you've already kind of heard a lot about Agile test management today. Some of you all have come over and talked to us by the booth. So I'm going to give you a quick kind of where we fit into the whole space. Then I'm actually going to do a really like a live demo, okay? So this is where you can actually see if our product actually works or not by actually me using it in the cloud in real time. So we'll see if that works. It's a joke. It's going to work. Okay. So real quick, one of the big reasons why we merged with Tricentis, right, was really around kind of three things. One is the fact that we have the best solution for anyone that's doing Agile test management inside of usually using tools like Jira version 1 and even some of the older development tools like Rally, which now got consumed by CA. All those tools are really around enterprise Agile planning. And what's been happening a lot of times is they have things like legacy solutions like HP Quality Center, they have legacy solutions like UFT, and they don't really work well together. So we have a real-time integration with Jira, which I'll show off today. This is Gina slacking me right now, so let me turn that off. Oh, hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. And then the other part is really being able to shift quality to the left. So we do a lot when it comes to being able to empower teams doing behavior-driven development, like using Cucumber. We also do things like tying into any automation framework you have directly into the Q-Test platform. So this means if you're using Selenium, you're using some custom-built automation framework that you have. I'll talk about how we use a product called Q-Test Launch to do that. And then also the predictive analytics side. So one of the big things I heard from a lot of customers today was really around reporting and getting better reporting from all the testing that's going on in your kind of life cycle. So I'll also show off Q-Test Insights with that. This is kind of a quick view of the product suite. So again, I'll be going through not all the products today because I only have 15 minutes. I don't know how much time do I have right now? Like 10 more minutes left? Yeah, so I'm trying to get through a lot. But I'll go through a lot of these products today, and I'll show how a lot of the capabilities that you see here kind of map out to each of those particular products. And just a quick example of how we see ourselves in an Agile work kind of development, right, is if you were to take a look at, from a portfolio planning perspective, teams that use things like AHA or things that use like Jira Portfolio, that's where you build out really, okay, here's the big epics and features we're going to plan for each quarter for the entire year, right? We're going to then create those requirements inside of a tool like Jira or those user stories inside of Jira. Then what we're going to do is we're going to build anything that was related to those user stories with tools like Jenkins and Bamboo. And what happens then is that where we come in is we do all the testing in between really your CI pipeline that's running your unit tests, to integration tests, to functional tests, and also we're getting it now to performance testing. So we're really smack dab in the testing space when it comes to that. And then if you ever are logging any defects back over into that Agile planning tool like Jira software, we're going to push those defects back over in real time. And so one of the things we don't do is we don't do a thing that's called a scheduled API pull and synchronization. We have this integration that's built out ourselves. So we actually support this type of integration. And then real quick, one of the big things that a lot of us here we're talking about is the fact that a lot of you may be on Quality Center. If I can just kind of wrap up, big four reasons why we see over 80% of our net new customers are coming off of HP is really around, we have real-time integration with Jira. They don't. They do a scheduled synchronization. I can talk about why that's different. We have a flexible ecosystem for open source support and commitment to open source. The other one is that, again, we do have best-in-class reporting. A lot of people that are using Quality Center, they can get reporting as well out of there, but it's just really hard to do. You have to know VBA and pulling that into a macro script for Excel, all those different types of things. And then also, we're just built for more Agile and DevOps environments. Everyone knows Quality Center was kind of built for those waterfall teams, and we're really addressing those teams that are in an Agile workflow. I'll quickly go through just some of the key differences, but again, one of the big things is that over 80% of our customers also integrate to Jira in real time. That's a big value add when it comes to using our solution. There's some things here that kind of, when we stack up against, when you're evaluating, hey, I'm still going to stick on Micro Focus, Quality Center, HP, whatever you want to call it, or I'm going to look to go to Jira and use like an add-on, something like that. We have lots of material that just kind of walk through kind of why you would not want to go with an add-on and why you'd want to go with us. And then also kind of maybe reasons why you want to stay on a Micro Focus Quality Center, which I'm guessing everyone here probably doesn't want to do that. So maybe you still want to, but we can make a pretty good case of why not to. Okay, so that was really fast, and now what I want to do is get into the actual demonstration. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so this is Qtest. I'm going to zoom in just real quick. Hold on one second. Mess up the HDMI cord. Again, just zooming in here just so everyone can kind of see. So this is Qtest. What you'll notice is we talked a little bit about this. Sandeep kind of mentioned this, but you can access any of our products in this thing called the 9-box. And so everything that we show kind of over in the Qtest side, we show all this as one platform. So what you're seeing here is really the Qtest Manager portion, and that's really the Quality Center replacement that a lot of people are asking for. But beyond that, what we do is we also have a lot of other products that facilitate that platform integration. So for example, we also have an exploratory testing solution that allows you to spit out Selenium scripts at the end. We have the ability, again, I'll show you insights to report across all across projects. We've got a solution that allows you to do scheduling your test automation regardless of framework. And then we also are tying into things like Flood for performance testing, and then also getting into workflow automation with a product called Qtest Pulse, which is really based off of event-driven workflows and kind of if-then-when type statements to really power anything you want to do in a DevOps environment. Okay, so I think I've got 7 minutes now, so I'm going to go really, really fast now. Okay, so typical way people use our products is, let's say you have a Scrum environment inside of Jira, and you've got things in, let's say, a product backlog. And the backlog could be created either in and viewed on a Jira board, or it can just be moved up and down in the different areas. So, a lot of people, what they like to do is actually visualize Jira in the board way and viewing it in to do, to in progress, to done. You can also view it this way, but what this is basically saying, in this particular sprint, here are all the user stories you want to test, and here's the backlog of stuff that you have to get to in the future. What happens is we pull those issues over in real time and we display them directly in Qtest Manager in this fashion. So you notice that I've got a lot of different properties displayed here. These are all Jira properties. And so when we say, hey, if let's say your product manager dropped in a new user story for a particular sprint, well, you're going to be notified immediately, and it's going to be sent over into Qtest in real time. So we have a webhook-based notification system that sends these artifacts over. If anything changes, it'll also change. Let's say you move the status from to do to done, or done all the way back to in progress. Well, it'll also change the different folder structure that you're seeing here, and also notify you. So from a testing perspective, I have a very clean way to organize, okay, what stuff is in to do, what stuff needs test coverage, and how do I actually go about doing that, right? So again, that data will flow over here, and then what will happen, we'll also put on the Jira issue, we'll put in any test coverage that's aligned to that. So for example, you'll notice here, I've got this new test session. You can see exactly what release, test cycle, and test suite it's in. This all refers back to the modules inside Qtest Manager. And anytime I run these, it'll update with the latest status directly on that Jira issue. So you can actually see that as a product manager, product owner. Right now it's unexecuted, but if I were to run this, have multiple test runs associated with that, I would see all the results displayed directly on that particular Jira issue there. I'll show you that kind of a little bit later. The execution area is where you would go off and execute your tests. So this is where you'd either execute your tests manually, or you would schedule them to be ran based off your automation agent that you have connected on whichever server running whatever framework that you have. So for example, if I wanted to grab these test runs here, I could do that just by selecting this quick run or running through a step-by-step execution. However, if I'm in a different project, and I'll head on over to Jared's project over here. I'm going to go to, let's go to, where's Jared's project? I can't find Jared's project. Let me go to Kyle's project. So if I go to Kyle's project, I'll go to the test execution area. You can see Kyle has all these different automation schedules that are hooked in. So again, he's got hooked into tools like Tosca. He's got those kind of set up. He's got hooked into a tool called Catalan. He has hooked into the TestNG framework to run Selenium. He has all these different automation kind of schedules already lined up. And when he runs these directly through Qtest Manager, they're actually being hosted and controlled by his product called Qtest Launch, which I'll show you here in a minute. But what you'll notice is you can get rich data around any of these executions that's going on related back to those Jira issues that we just talked about from the very beginning. So aligning your tests directly back to Jira issues, or aligning them directly back to a user story inside of Jira or a defect inside of Jira, you see all that data on the Jira side, but also on the Qtest side as well. And to control all your automation, you use a product called Qtest Launch. This is where Kyle, in that particular project that he was in, he actually has all these different hosts that are set up on different machines. And what he can do is set up each agent type for whatever framework he's running. He can set all that up on each machine and then control that from this UI here. So if he needs to rerun a new job that's scheduled, if he needs to figure out what tests have been running for a really long time and are really flaky, they need to look into, he can view it here. And he can also diagnose, if I drill in here, they can also diagnose any of the jobs that were running in the past. I have 3 minutes. Any jobs that were running in the past, and analyze them this way as well. So being able to schedule from different locations is very important for our customers. If you're an automation engineer or just somebody who needs to just run them on a periodic basis, you can do that through either UI that you're seeing. And the last thing I'll do is just kind of show you quickly Qtest Insights. And so Insights is our reporting engine that sits across everything I just talked about. So all your manual tests, all of your automation that's going on, whether it's Tosca automation, whether it's Cucumber automation, your Selenium automation, whatever it is, all that data is rolled up into Qtest Insights to have this type of reporting. So an example of reports that I always like to show, I'll go to one of my personal dashboards here. I got questions a lot about just dashboard sharing and things like that. With Insights, what you can do is create your own reports, share them with URLs, give somebody maybe a unique UID to come to this. They don't actually need any type of license to Qtest. So if you have a director or a senior level person who just wants to see the progress, you can just give them this URL or embed it in like a Confluence page or embed it in a SharePoint page, and they'll actually see all this data without actually coming to our tool. This is actually showing the requirements coverage by sprint. So going full circle, I talked about, hey, you have user stories, you pull them into Qtest, you run executions. Now, what's my coverage per sprint? You can see all that data here. You can see it per sprint, you can see it per requirement. You can see also the progress as well by these things called executive charts. And these are executive charts that we came up with specifically from our customers who are asking, hey, how do I show a progress of my automation rather than just showing, what's the current statistics of my automation? And so these charts here actually show you and give you an idea from release to release or sprint to sprint, which things are manual, which things are automated. And you get that roll-up view to say, hey, here's our progress, here's how we're tracking towards our initiative to go more into test automation. I have 1 minute for questions. Does anybody have any questions? Did I talk too fast? I think I talked too fast. Oh, please come visit us in the expo booth as well. I'll be there. If you don't want to talk to me, there's a lot of other people you can talk to. But I'll promise to slow down next time I talk to you. Okay? All right, thank you all so much.